Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Beyond the Groom podcast. It is my distinguished honor at this time to introduce a young lady. She has more credentials and more acronyms than I am equipped to recite and name right now. Suzanne, I'm on the Meet the Staff page for Yves Saint Bernard. I was going to try to eloquently introduce you, but there are so many things here and so many programs and so many certifications that you have that I got verklempt, just being able to read everything that you've done in this industry. And being a young, lovely young lady, to have 35 years of grooming experience and 24 years owning your own business, how are you able to do all that and maintain your sanity?
Having fun is the first and most important thing. I think if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I can honestly say I've been super blessed my whole entire life that I've worked with animals my whole life, and it's been my passion since I was a little girl. So it's easy. It's fun. Every day is a challenge, and every day is a new day. I'm a person that doesn't like the same thing every day. I love change and challenges, and I love helping people and animals. So I think I was just born to be a groomer, work with animals.
Well, you make it look easy, and I know it's anything but. We're going to delve into all of it, and we're going to get into more of this in a moment here. I have to ask you before we're going to dive into the weeds here and get pretty specific, but Suzanne, how are you and Dr. Favor able to help people on such a wide level, myself included? I've called you at crazy hours of the nights to ask questions that I should probably be paying a king's ransom to get the knowledge that you gave me in the treatment. But how are you able to do this day in and day out and not get tired and maintain the passion that you clearly still have for your industry?
Well, it goes back to what we just talked about. When you're passionate and you love something, you're never working. So honestly, anybody who calls myself or Dr. Favor, we get as much out of it as you do. And when we help somebody who's in dire need or is very concerned or is frustrated or anything about a certain situation, whether it's a skin problem, an animal's health, or just a simple process that they're stuck with, when we help them, we benefit. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, we're not doing this for any other reason that we're super passionate about working with animals and groomers and people that love animals. So anytime we get to help them, it's the most wonderful feeling. There's no description that I can describe when you see a positive outcome, or you see the relief in a client or a groomer's eyes when they finally realize the answer to that. So, there isn't anything really that's second to that. We both feel the same way. We're happy for each other when we watch the other one have a success with the client. So, it just, what goes around comes around.
I've heard people who have spoken with you, whether it's on the phone or at a booth at a trade show, and they say, wow, the knowledge that I just learned, the experience I just had is life-changing for my animal, for me as a professional, and also it's going to be passed on to my clients. First of all, that feedback's got to be liberating. It's got to justify all the hard work that you put in. But when you hear those things said by people, does that just make you want to keep going, continue to do what you do?
We cry, we laugh with them. We get disappointed sometimes, but it doesn't keep us down. That's why we keep coming back, because we have a lot of success. We don't save them all. We don't change all of them for the good, but for the majority of them, we do. We try to set real expectations, which is super important. We're not miracle workers. Our job is hard. But it's very rewarding, and it's rewarding to see people that we teach go out and do the same thing we're doing, because that just means we're spreading it all around, which is what it's all about.
Absolutely. Nobody does it better. Now, again, because I'm a novice at best to this industry and I'm outside of the grooming industry, this is Beyond the Groom, but we do want to get a little specific here because you mentioned a lot of young people, and I've been seeing it more and more at the trade shows. Groom Expo last year, a lot of young, hungry bathers or groomers that are looking to get into the industry or take the next step. So if you're a doctor or a lawyer or you're aspiring to be one, there's medical school, there's law school. Is there a tried and true method for the best way for someone to get started on the right path in the grooming industry? Or what would you recommend to a young lady or a gentleman who comes up to you and says, I really want to get started. I'm all about it. Let's dive in.
So, so there's, a lot of people like animals. That doesn't mean they're gonna love to work with them day in and day out. And I think people oftentimes think, oh, you get to play with dogs all day or cats. It's that you get to be with them. You're not playing with them. You get to love them if you love what you do, that's why it's important that you are 100% sure when you get into this industry, you find out real quick who actually loves them, loves working with them, and who just loves to have them. But I think probably the advice I would say is probably the best advice I can give somebody thinking about getting into the grooming industry is go volunteer. Go volunteer at a grooming salon. Go volunteer at an animal shelter and bathe. Go bathe a bunch of dogs. Go bathe dirty dogs. Go bathe stinky dogs. Go bathe dogs with skin problems. Just go and be around them for, I don't know, a week to 2 weeks. Volunteer, really. Because then if you like still like it after that, if you still like it, then I would suggest getting a bathing position somewhere and under somebody who loves to do things like that for people, who like to maybe hire people that don't know anything and teach them something, which I definitely like doing that. And I know a lot of my grooming friends that own salons like doing that because they like to teach people how they do it. Then I say, if you like it after that, go to any seminar you can go to a grooming school, and just take it one step at a time. To be a good groomer, you are not going to be a good groomer overnight. It will take years. You will learn how to do some of the basics, but don't mistake that for being good. Don't mistake that for being a professional yet. You're definitely, probably, most people aren't even really good until they've been in it 3 to 4 years, and then that's basic good. 7 years, now you're cooking. Because it's a skill. It isn't something that you go, okay, put this and this together and I have it. Nope. Nope. It's not how it works. You have to practice and hone your skills. Clipping and scissoring and doing toenails and trimming, that can be dangerous. I mean, you have sharp tools. You are just learning for the first year or two how to use those. Then you start building your skill, your expertise after that. So it takes time. If you want to be good, you got to build the foundation first. You got to know how to bathe really well. You got to know how to properly handle an animal. You got to know that if you poke your finger too far down in the ear, you could hurt them badly. If you dump something in the ear like that shouldn't be in the ear, you could rupture an eardrum. Things like that. You got to know how to work with an animal so that you don't hurt them. That's the first thing. And then I think most people should honestly learn about skin and coat before they learn to do a haircut. I think they should learn what they're putting on a dog is appropriate for that dog. We teach that in our program, but I honestly wish I had learned that from day one, because it would have saved a lot of frustration for my clients. It would have probably saved some vet bills for them and long-term skin issues, as well as frustrating for me, because the dog kept coming in with the same problem, or every month it was worse, right? Or I got the phone call 3 days later, my dog's itching. You can put all the hypo shampoo on there you want, and it's not going to stop the itching. if the itching is for maybe bacteria, fungus, allergy, or whatever. We can't fix dogs' medical problems with a shampoo. So I just wish that there was a little more of a foundation for us groomers with skin and coat. And so that's why Dr. Favor and I are really passionate about that part of it, because we think it is the foundation, no matter who you take it from, you know.
And those results speak for themselves. You kind of tackled my next question, actually, but from a novice perspective, or dare I say, an ignorance perspective, probably something that I've done before. Said, "Oh, my dog's itching. I'm going to put this cream on it, or use this shampoo. Oh, she's still itching. I'll just give her more." So
Yeah.
things like that, or brushing, shampooing.
Sure.
People like myself, especially at the beginning, I think we're under the assumption, well, these are some things that I could do myself. I don't really even need to take her to the groomer. I could probably just do it. So are there actual, I'm sure there are there actual services or techniques that professional groomers will implement that the average person just has no idea or is not aware of?
Well, as far as like if you get a certified pet esthetician, somebody that's capable of assessing your dog in and around the skin and the hair, that's a great start. I mean, having somebody that's trained, has a trained eye, that knows what direction to take, possibly sending you to your vet, and possibly working on your dog weekly with a bathing routine that is customized for that particular dog or cat or horse or whatever you work with. We work with them all, but a trained eye and somebody that knows what they're looking at, really. I think that we can change the world of people. Not all of them need to go to the vet. Some of them do. Some of them have internal health issues. And what we don't want to do, and we want the groomers trained and the bathers trained to not think that this is just a skin issue. Oftentimes the skin, when you're bathing a dog or grooming a dog, is a reflection of the inside of the dog. And so if this is happening on the outside, like what's happening on the inside, right? And maybe nothing. But what if it is? What if you keep bathing this dog weekly thinking that, you're going to fix it, and really the dog has diabetes, and that's why his hair's falling out, and that's why, he's thin, or he's this, or he's that, So we just want to proper expectations, cover your self, and you should do well, but I just really feel like again, the foundation is really bathing and knowing what your parameters are, and knowing what they're not. But yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I kind of went on a tangent, but
as you should. This is your episode. That they're here to learn from you, not from me. They want me to shut up. But I will ask you, because you mentioned a 7-year period of time where you kind of sort of get your sea legs, so to speak. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, someone who has so many certifications and so many degrees, and you're so intricate and so integral to the Yves Saint Bernard Certified Pet Aesthetician program itself, does a certain degree or certification of achievement guarantee that a groomer will be skilled or competent? Because I know plenty of people that have college degrees that have no idea what they're doing, and I know plenty of people who don't have a degree, but they're brilliant just from on-the-job training. But this world is different. So is there a way to ensure that a groomer has the education plus the practical experience necessary to be effective?
well, I believe that just like any industry, you have book learned people and people who do it because it's a paycheck. And you also have people who are passionate about it and are doing it because they love it. It's a skill, it's their craft. They're artists. Most of us are artists, artistic, and love animals. And kind of those tend to kind of be that group of people in our industry. And I feel like after we hit the 2008, when everything kind of went crazy and the market kind of crashed a little bit, all of a sudden I feel like corporate America noticed us, because we were in one of the only industries that did not take a hit. Really, we actually went up and flourished from that, right? They noticed us. Now we have a lot of corporate America in the grooming industry. So a lot of them come from corporate America mindset and come over and think they're going to maybe open a grooming salon or a bunch of grooming salons, and they're going to make a lot of money because that, it's the only industry that didn't take a hit during that time. So it must be really lucrative. They must know, something we don't. And that's not the case. I think groomers can make a lot of money doing this. Absolutely. We don't tend to, all of us, necessarily be super skilled in like accounting and books and all of that. That's not why we got into this. We aren't necessarily business people. We're artists. Some of us are business people, and man, oh man, kudos to those people who have both those sides of the brain working really well. Mine, not so much. I'm pretty much an artist and a passionate animal lover. So that's where I come from. I know what I'm not good at, though. So that's when I hand it over. But I feel like, that our industry is definitely changing, and you can be passionate. You can do this. Just remember what you're good at, and you hone your skills. The problem with it is you can't just replace this wonderful, fantastic groomer with another one, the same one. It takes training and skill to do what we do, which is good and bad. So if you're a business owner, like I was a business owner, a very active member in my grooming salon, I was the groomer. I had a lot of support around me. I had a couple of underling groomers always under me that would like do my prep work and some of my finish work, but I did the main, the very difficult ones, and they were always learning and I was always teaching, but they kind of started from the bathing and we went on to there. So, to like, maybe doing feet and then doing faces and then doing the whole body clip, but those things take time. You can't just step into that position and go, okay, give me 2 weeks, I'll be good. That doesn't happen in our industry. And I think a lot of people are finding that out. A lot of corporate America that kind of creeped in and is in our industry now. I think they're finding that out now. I think you're also going to see a lot of people, a lot of groomers that like, they just like to work by themselves. Mobile. You see mobile groomers, they have really taken off. I mean, back when I was like in the middle of my career, it was rare to see a mobile groomer. Now it's like the commonplace. I might see 5 or 6 driving down the road, just going to one place. So there's that. There's a lot of single shops. There's a lot of corporate America that are added grooming to their pet supply places.